call a regular board meeting of the ISD 701, September 18th, Wednesday, 2024, 3:30 p.m. Daylight saving time. I'd like to welcome everybody here. With that, we'll go to item number 2, Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand if you wish.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. With that, we'll move to item 3, Superintendent Rick, public comment.
We have none, Mr. Chair.
Okay, we'll move to item 4, administrative reports, directors. Hearing none. Oh, go ahead.
Sure, I just want to make a comment. Oftentimes we talk about our buildings and we reference the high school just because, but I just want to give a shout out to all of the maintenance staff at the other schools as well. Last night I had a chance to look at different places in different schools and they all look amazing. And so I just want to make sure that the maintenance staff at all the schools realize how much they're appreciated and the work that they've done hasn't gone unnoticed.
Very good, thank you. And we, Superintendent and I are going to take a tour. We're waiting for school to start so people could get settled in a little bit, but I've heard nothing but compliments. Director,
Just
you
to follow up a little bit, I guess, what's going on at the Lincoln? I know they're replacing all the corner bricks.
So that
Is
was,
that a tough deal?
yeah, that was part of this project that we did here. It was all worked together, but those corners, they really did some heavy duty work there when you look at it. I mean, they replaced from top to bottom. I was surprised. I thought it would be more tuck pointing, but Tyler said that was part of the bid and in the plan, and that's what they had from day one, so.
And I don't want to forget, the restrooms out at Cheever Field, the color, the painting, it's amazing. And Friday night there was a wind, so that's
yeah, that's not
added plus.
Plus they had a full house.
And a full house. For little kids.
just like the old days. Yeah, used to be.
Yes.
Thank you for that. And we'll go to item B, administrator staff. Superintendent Rick.
We don't have an Mr. Lutzka was going to be here, but he ended up, had a sick child, so I don't have any reports from administrators today.
Sorry to hear that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Item C, committee reports. Hearing none, we'll go to item 5, motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Director Martin, supported by Director Gabarty. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you. With that, we'll move to item 6, motion to approve the consent agenda.
So, support.
Moved by Director Egan, supported by Director McLaughlin. Any discussion?
I noticed down at the bottom for AD, it's resignation.
Yes.
I understand we had interviews today.
Interviews today.
Everything went well. So far.
I believe everything did go well, yes. Yep.
Good, thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Are you getting all that? Sorry, I don't want to go too fast.
I do have experience.
Okay, good. The only reason for the public, the only reason we have a replacement for this meeting, so I just want to make sure that I don't goof things up. I'll take the blame. Work with it. With that, we'll move to item 7, administrative business. I'll turn that over to Superintendent Rick.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're welcome.
Item A is a motion to approve the resolution for donations.
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Director McLaughlin, supported by Director Martin. Any discussion?
Yeah, I have a question. I did email Alex today and he did respond, and then I came back with another question and just haven't been able to check back. And then I know that he's gone today. So I had asked him the question regarding the donations from Splash Express, how they're doing that for a whole year.
Okay.
And just kind of inquired about how much we've received. He provided that information, but why don't we see that on the donations list? Is that set up differently, or?
That's a good question. we should recognize it, obviously. Maybe the plan was near the end when the fundraiser is done, but no, we should recognize that.
That sounded separate too, but I'm not sure either.
Let me check on that for you, I don't know why.
And that might be a good process or to
Yeah.
set up, because even with the booster clubs and, for example, the weight room fundraiser and the donations, I think it just would be nice to recognize the impact all the booster and clubs make on our school.
The only thing, now that I think about that for a second, I wonder if those funds are going directly to the athletic department and aren't being donated to the school's general fund.
Okay, and that was part of
I
my
think that's what
questioning
it
that I had,
Yep.
asked Alex,
Yep.
how is it coming in, and is that the reason why? Because, it was kind of specified for the activities department, but, again, I was just kind of curious on, how that's set up and what that looked like if we're not seeing it here, and I mean,
Right.
and if it's going directly to them, that's fine, but,
But we should still recognize it, I think.
Yeah.
I think, it's a
Yeah,
nice
it's a-
gesture and we should recognize it at a board meeting if possible. So-
and I'm only using them as an example, there could be
Yeah,
other ones that I
right.
just know that one off the top
Well,
of my
the
head.
example today is to support the drama club. So there it's specified,
Correct.
what's it,
I would
drama or
just-
athletic? What's it?
I would just say, if it goes to a separate 501c3, like one of our boosters, then we're not accepting it, that's a separate entity.
Yeah.
But particularly now that the activities come under our audited financial statements, anything coming to one of our activities
Yes.
would be under privy, I
Yeah.
think.
Well, I'll review it and we'll get an answer. We should recognize those donors, that's important.
Well, I know in past meetings, Alex has always told us what the donations are.
Oh, and I was gonna read them also, what we have tonight, but to your question, yes, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And I'll read these donations, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Thank you. Resolution accepting $100 from the Central Range Pickleball Club to help repair the windscreen at the Lincoln Pickleball Courts. A resolution accepting $100 from Doherty Funeral Home in memory of Michael Marinucci to support the Drama Club, and a resolution accepting $30 from Jane Martz in memory of Michael Marinucci to support the Drama Club.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you.
Item B is a motion to approve the 2024 payable 2025 proposed levy with maximum authority.
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Director Martin, supported by Director McLaughlin. Any discussion?
Yeah, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Sure.
Now, I know we discussed this at our last, meeting a little bit, but now is this what we're agreeing to as far as we don't need the public vote and we can just make that decision on our own, or is this not clearly stating that?
Well, let me run you through like a little bit of the levy timeline in the process. So today, what we have to do is the proposed levy is due to the state by September 30th. So most entities will pass that with maximum authority, and then that's adjusted in the next couple of months. We will not use the maximum authority, I would assume. But we authorize, and it has to do it at the state by September 30th. And then the next step is they'll generate property tax statements based on that amount. Changes are still made by the county, the cities and townships and school districts until November 30th. So we're constantly changing, and that's Jennifer Smith at ARC. She helps Alex through that process with the levy, and they'll work on it for the next couple of months. And then on December 4th, at the Truth in Taxation meeting, when the public would have an opportunity to address the board, that's where the final levy would be adopted. So it's still, I think we're just saying, what if today, but it will be toned down and pared down before the board would approve on the 4th of December. So, and I also, just for you, or for any of the board members that would like to see, I ran off a packet that Alex and I went through a training on levy certification. And it just gives a nice kind of overview of how levies work. So I can make copies for everybody, I can send it to you, or if anybody has an interest, just a couple of pages, you're more than welcome to take a look. But it kind of explains the process, because it's confusing that you're approving now, but the taxes will actually be paid next May and next October.
To Sarah's point, this is like the levy that's used in funding the operating budget and not like the one to replace the referendum that's falling off or the capital
Okay,
that's falling
that's
off.
the one I was
No,
thinking.
I'm sorry, no,
So
no.
thank you for clarifying that.
Those would be voter approved.
Okay, that's what
Yeah,
I was
yes.
thinking, that's right, okay.
This is all separate, that was legislature before we okay with that. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried, thank you.
Item C is a motion to approve the group Medicare supplement rates with Blue Cross Blue Shield effective January 1, 2025 to December 31st, 2025.
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Director McLaughlin, supported by Director Egan. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried, thank you.
Item D is a motion to approve payment number 3 to Lency Enterprises, Inc. in the amount of $195,060.00 for work completed on Cheever Field toilet room upgrade.
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Director McLaughlin, supported by Director Martin. Any discussion?
I just want to make it clear that we don't have a $195,000 bathroom. This includes other work that was done
Thank you for the clarification.
Just,
Makes
you
me
know,
more comfortable.
there. People might ask that.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried, thank you.
Item E is a motion to approve the agreement for targeted services between ISD 701 Hibbing Public Schools and Cloquet Public Schools effective October 1, 2024 through June 30th, 2025.
Support.
Moved by Director Martin, supported by Director Martin. Any discussion?
Was this always a partnership with Cloquet?
No, it's,
I didn't think so.
it's kind of exciting. So, just a little bit of background is we had a targeted services agreement with the Northland Learning Center in Virginia. They ended that agreement in May, last May. We also had, we had purchased some level 4 services from them and some seats at the Northland Learning Center. And they ended that agreement at the same time in May. So our level 4 services, we've absorbed back into our high school, and we're providing those services for students now and not farming any of that out to Cloquet or any other school district. But the targeted services piece is something a little bit different. So targeted services is additional help for students that occurs before school, after school, or in the summer. And it generates an additional, up to an additional 4/10 ADM per student that participates in that program. But in order to have a targeted services program and qualify for that funding, you have to have an ALC, Alternative Learning Center. We have an ALP, which is Alternative Learning Program, which is a different criteria for the state of Minnesota. And we can't be in an ALC without another partner and a whole process to get there. So we wanted to access this targeted services revenue, but you have to have a partner. So the superintendent in Cloquet, who I'm a friend with, I talked to him, he was willing to do that. We pay a service fee to them of $5,000 per year. That allows us to access that state funding through their ALC umbrella. I hope that makes sense, and I hope that I explained that to you in a rational way, because it is very complicated, but it's a service that we've been providing to our students for the last 4 years. It's well regarded in our district, both by the staff and the parents. It's an after-school program that all of our buildings are participating in, or have been participating in. Here at the high school, has probably some of the largest numbers of all the buildings, but it's awesome because we get to pay our licensed teachers a rate that they would stay after school and work for. And it generates revenue. It's not to generate any new revenue, it's just to break even. We're just trying to pay our salaries and get the services to kids. If we make a couple of bucks on it, great, but that's not the goal. It's just to provide that service. So, but I couldn't say enough about Cloquet and their willingness just to partner. I mean, we're not going to share any kids. We're too far away. It's allowing them, or allowing us to utilize their ALC umbrella to access those funds. So it's just a win-win for us.
It's a good thing.
Okay, thank you.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you. Thanks for the explanation.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Item F is a motion to approve the READ Act MOU between ISD 701 and Hibbing United Educators. This is through January 30th, 2025.
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Director McLaughlin and supported by Director Martin. Any discussion?
Yeah, I have a question. I got lots of questions.
Sure.
I'm trying to find it here in my paperwork, but I thought I had seen, where it says they get a stipend of, what, $500?
Yep.
Is that like total, or is that per makeup day, per, I didn't see that it was clearly stated in
Yeah, so what we did, and we're very thankful that the board let us adopt this kind of a strange calendar for this school year, but it provides an opportunity for us to get that trained to teachers during their workday. So a lot of districts around us are doing hybrids of it, or it's all out of school, some in school, some out of school. The majority of ours is in school, 50 some hours of it is in school. And there's about 16 to 17 hours that teachers are going to have outside. That $500 is a compensation to them to do some of that outside work.
But is it just a one lump sum
It's a
of
one lump
500?
sum.
So it's not every day that you?
Correct.
Okay. Thank
So
you.
we had about a little under $80,000 that we got from the state to implement the READ Act. We basically took all the participants, divided by the number of participants into that
Sure.
amount, and that's the dollar amount that we came up with. So when speaking with the union, the idea was that that money was intended for them, for the training. But since we have this nice setup with the calendar where we're getting that during the school day, there's still a piece that has to happen, and they should be compensated for that outside the school day. The only thing that, a little caveat that we have in here is we don't think that we're going to spend all the money this year. So we reserve just a portion of it that will still be available for new staff that are coming in that we hire. Somebody leaves that needs new training. So there's a little bit of cushion there for us, but ultimately at the end of the day, the teachers, the money that was allocated from the state, they'll get it all. They'll get every penny of it. So
Was this put out by the legislature to support this program?
it was. So they gave us about that amount to provide the training, and they gave us a little bit more to buy the curriculum that goes along with that training.
So it's pretty underfunded mandate, basically.
If we want to go there, yes. It is. A lot of our mandates are, I'd say, underfunded. Yes, definitely.
And some not funded at all.
And some not funded at all. Yes.
You said it goes till January?
Well, what we did with this MOU is their contract, teacher's contract is up June 30th of 2025. So we're going to have to sit down and talk about this.
Okay.
This is the first year of 2, so there's another year that's coming, so there'll be some other language in the contract that'll comply with it, so.
So this is a 2-year program in training teachers?
Two, I'm gonna turn to Mrs. McDonald, but 2+, it could be up beyond 2, correct?
We will have the majority of our staff trained this year. And again, thank you to the board for making that possible with our calendar, because our neighboring districts are going crazy right now trying to figure out how to pay teachers for all this after-school time because they didn't build it into their calendar. But next year we will have a very small group of teachers that we will need to train, and I think we'll be able to manage that in a different way versus just altering the schedule like we did this year.
Okay, thank you. Good conversation. Thank you. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried, thank you.
Item G is a motion to approve the agreement between the City of Hibbing and the Hibbing Public Schools for school resource officers for the period of September 1, 2024 through August 31st, 2026.
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Director Martin, supported by Director Duarte. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Let me digress 1 second. Could we have gotten a longer contract? Just in case.
Well, when you work with attorneys, that's what happens. Yeah.
Thank you. With that, we'll move to item 8, discussion items. Superintendent Ritter.
Yeah, no, thank you, Mr. Chair. Director Polcher was actually here prior to the meeting, but had to leave for a family emergency. He had a real desire to talk about our cell phone policy. We had Ms. Rocco that was here, she was signed up to speak about it, but I spoke to her because I think she'd been working with Director Polcher a little bit, and she thought, well, maybe tonight wouldn't be the best time to talk, and push it off until our next meeting. So we can certainly have a discussion about cell phones, or if you'd like to gather some, let Jeff come back. I know this was something he wanted to kind of lead.
I think we should just move it to the next meeting, because he was doing some work on it, and probably should have a full board for a topic like this, and it's up to the rest of the board.
Yeah.
I would suggest moving it.
Just a little timeline piece of it. So we do have a cell phone policy, right? We have one in place.
Right.
The board approved that prior to the start of the school year. We're mandated by March 15th to have a policy in place. That is going to probably be a little more extensive than what we have. So a lot of the state agencies, a lot of the principals groups, superintendents groups, MSBA, all of our lobbyist groups are working together on that policy with MDE. And I'm also hearing rumblings, I don't know what'll happen, but I'm hearing that the legislature might take up cell phone use in schools, and that could be, whatever we do create, it could be changed by the legislature
And that's
potentially.
what I heard. They said as long as you have a policy in place for that date, you can fine tune it as you go along and see what works and what doesn't work, but it has to be in place for that time. Then there's sort of state statutes that could rule anything, so that could come later, so.
And I'd also talked to Mrs. Sikora to do some type of polling or get some feedback from the high school staff, just to see how our policy is going, what are the hiccups, what are the problems, what do we need to have changed, and I don't believe she's done that yet.
Yes, she did.
I don't believe
We
that.
did.
Oh, she had?
We did.
Oh, she's
We did.
here? I didn't even see Mrs. Sikora back there, I'm
So
sorry.
I sent it after, I had a parent meeting when I snuck in, so I sent out a survey and I sent it to all the teachers, and right now I only have half of the teachers responded, so I sent out an email reminder, so I want full participation so we can get, good feedback.
Okay, well, thank you. So I would suggest that we have a lengthier discussion when the full board's here and I have a little bit more data for you to mull over.
Are you okay with that, Director Martin?
I am. And actually, sometimes I think some parental input would be interesting as well.
Yeah.
Director McLaughlin,
I'm okay with it.
Director Duarte, Director Egan?
Yes.
And the chair is okay. It's not a motion, it's just to let the record show that you know better than I. Thank you. And if there's nothing else, go ahead.
I'd like to just add one more comment or question. Student rep. Do we have any thoughts about a student rep, any interested parties?
So I see Mrs. Sikora.
I have
Yes,
to do
yes,
that
ma'am.
too. Okay, I have to put it in the bulletin to have students come see me if they're interested. So that's on me, I didn't do that at the start of the year.
That's okay. That's okay. We need to get the school year started, so.
But thank you for the reminder, I
Yeah,
will do that
thank
now.
you.
Yeah, and that's a good point. We need to good for the youth, good for us, and
And it's
we all
interesting.
learn.
Their perspective is always appreciated.
Yes.
Okay, that being said, I'd like to thank everybody for being here. And without any I don't want to say that resentment and everything, the meeting's adjourned.
Napa Auto Parts, located at 2611 East Beltline here in Hibbing, has what you and your vehicles need to get up and go. Call them at 218-263-3631 or visit napaonline.com. HPAT thanks them for their support. HPAT thanks Premier Fitness at the Lux for their donation and support. They welcome individual and family memberships. To learn more, call them at 218-440-1191. Up North Lettering specializes in embroidery and heat vinyl press applications, along with patches and letter jackets. For more information, call them at 218-966-7850. HPAT would like to thank them for their donation and support.